Okay, good morning. Very good morning to all of you. Now, today we have the last class on the ITC chapter, input tax credit, and that to be with respect to input service distributor. And then it is a very small discussion. After that, we will do the few example or few questions based on the multiple provision. Okay. So, first, let me read the section 20. Distribution of the credit by input service distributor. Q&A homework. Thank God you have reminded me. Now, what was the question? We'll discuss in some time. We will discuss. मैंने क्या क्वेश्चन दिया था बताएं? What was my question? Geet, you can unmute and then tell me what was that question, and then what is your answer? ठीक है? That we will discuss in just allow me some time. Let me complete section 20 and then we'll move to the Q&A homework. Section 20 and 21, manner of distribution of the credit by ISD. So how ISD can distribute the credit to its branches. Now, what is the ISD? ISD means there is an head office who takes the common services from outside, and then it is for the benefit of the multiple GST number of the same organization. Means suppose XYZ Limited has the head office and have the 3 GST number in the another state, 3 more GST number. Now that for the benefit of these branches, if head office procures certain services like auditor fees, consultancy charges, these are not for only head office. There could be the marketing services. They are procuring from outside for the benefit of the branches. In that case, they can distribute through credit by this mechanism that is called as an ISD. ISD name suggests input service distributor. Can we transfer the credit of goods through this mechanism? Can we transfer the ITC of the goods through this mechanism? The answer would be no, because I told that as the name suggests, input service distributor. So this particular mechanism is being developed only for transferring the common service. Now, any office of the supplier of the goods or services or both which receive the tax invoice toward the receipt of input service, including reverse charge mechanism, for and on behalf of the distinct person referred to in section 25 shall be required to be registered as ISD and distribute the credit in respect of that supply. Now, the most important part in this particular provision is this line. Can anybody tell me what is the 93 and 94? क्या मुझे कोई बता सकता है what is the 93 and 94? It is RCM. just I like to ask that give me two example for the 9.3 and two example for 9.4. Can you add me the two example of 9.3 and two example of 9.4? I need two example of 9.3 and two example of 9.4. Right? 9.3 could be any services. Multiple services are covered. Real estate sector, ITC, correct, and 9.3 multiple legal GTA. Now you all might be aware, just asking practical aspect something. How the credit would be distributed in which form by ISD? Form number. Anybody who knows the form number? That is GSTR 6. Correct. Now, when he will distribute the credit, now try to understand and give me the answer. I am advocate and registered in the GST. This is ISD number. I have given the service to the GSTR 6 person. I have given the service to the ISD GST number. He will pay the tax under RCM. Will he pay the tax under RCM then distribute this RCM credit? Yes or no? Whether GSTR 6 is being used to pay the tax liability under RCM. Whether GSTR 6 can be used to pay the tax liability under RCM. Try to understand the things. In the section 20, they have added the 9.3 and 9.4, meaning thereby if head office taking the certain common RCM services also for the benefit of the branches, in that case that RCM का liability, RCM का ITC has to be paid by head office. How we'll discuss, but that credit will be distributed by the ISD. One thing is clear, whether he would be payable, whether he would be in the position to pay the tax under RCM or not, that we will discuss. But one thing is sure, that ITC of RCM has to be distributed by the GSTR 6 to the branches. Why? Because it says that an office of the supplier which received the tax invoice for reverse charge also for and on behalf of the distinct person shall be required to be registered and shall distribute the credit. In that case, what will happen? Just wait for some time. Once we will reach to the rule 13 and 1A, we would be able to understand more clearly. Now, the ISD shall distribute the credit of central tax or integrated tax charged on the invoice received by him. So if I am an ISD, I have received CGST or I have received IGST, including the credit of C or I in respect of RCM paid by the distinct person registered in the same state as the said ISD in such manner within such time, such restriction and condition as may be prescribed. क्या मतलब हुआ? ISD will distribute the credit received by him as CGST or IGST charged on any invoice. It means they are talking about normal charge. They are talking about forward charge. Correct? And they are saying now the word including is there, including the credit of the CGST or IGST in respect of RCM. Paid, who will pay? You have correctly given the answer. ISD cannot pay. ISD cannot pay. So they are saying paid by the distinct person registered in the same state as the ISD in such manner, within such time and such restriction and condition that we will discuss. तो हुआ क्या कि 9394 का पेमेंट कौन करेगा? Who will pay the 9394 का liability? 9394 का liability would be paid by the distinct person, and that distinct person should be registered in the same state. Which state? Same state. किसका same? As of ISD. Meaning thereby, suppose I am advocate registered in the GST, providing the service to the XYZ Limited for the benefit of 23 GST number. XYZ Limited has taken the ISD at Maharashtra. They have the 3 more GST number. Which is GST number? Say one is Rajasthan, one is Punjab, one is Karnataka. Now, what is the requirement? This particular ISD registration is in which state? Maharashtra. In that case, the XYZ has to obtain one more registration under regular category in Maharashtra. Why so? Because they are saying 9394 ka liability has to be discharged. 9394 ka liability has to be discharged by the same state. It means they have to take one more registration. They will pay the tax under RCM. Then this RCM ka credit will goes to Maharashtra, ISD number as forward charge, normal charge. And then Maharashtra will distribute the credit to the multiple location. Is this point clear? Because it is the very important discussion how the RCM ka liability to be discharged. एक बार confirm करें. I hope this point is clear to all. Clear ना? ठीक. Subsection 3 says the credit of the central tax shall be distributed as central tax or integrated tax. See, it says that CGST can be distributed as CGST or can be distributed as IGST. Correct? And integrated tax as integrated tax or central tax. So there is no problem in the section 20 subsection 3. You can distribute the CGST credit as CGST or IGST, and similarly you can distribute the credit of IGST as IGST or CGST by way of the document, issuance of the document containing the details as may be prescribed. For this we will read rule 54. Okay, what are the content? Now, manner of recovery of the credit distributed in excess, where the ISD distribute the credit in contravention of the provision contained in section 20, resulting in excess distribution of the credit to one or more recipient. The excess credit so distributed shall be recovered along with interest. And the 73, 74 or 74A, as the case may be, shall mutatis mutandis apply for determination of the amount of the tax to be recovered. ठीक है? Now let's read the rule 39. Rule 39 says that procedure for distribution of ITC by ISD. How the ISD will distribute the ITC to the branches. An ISD shall distribute the input tax credit, the ITC available for distribution in a month shall be distributed in same month, and the details thereof shall be furnished in GSTR 6 in accordance with the provision of the chapter 8. Now, this is very practical problem. Why? Let me ask. Now you tell me. First, basic understanding. I'm asking to you. I am ISD and you are the branches. I received some consultancy bill for the month of September, which I will distribute in which month? When I will file the GSTR 6 for the month of the September, then I will distribute. Yes or no? When you distribute the IST credit while filing the GST return for the month of the September by due date, that is 13, what would be the document date? Will it be the 13th October? जब आप सितंबर का GSTR 6 फाइल करोगे in the month of October, what would be the date? Will it be 13th October? Will it be 13th October? Will it be 13 October or any date of the September? If I am filing the GSTR 6 for the month of the September, obviously my document date will be September only. Na? Obviously my document date will be September, right? Geet, agree? Now, you tell me, the ITC available for distribution, how I, being an ISD, will come to know that this much of the ITC need to be distributed? Based on which form? GSTR 6, capital A. It is an inward statement. It is an inward statement. So, let's say Mr. A, who is a supplier, the chartered accountant, he has given the bill to me. It will appear in the GSTR 6A, and then I can distribute the credit through GSTR 6 to the branches. I can distribute the credit through GSTR 6 to the branches. Problem is, you come to know by 11th October. If the supplier, obviously supplier would be the regular category. Monthly है तो 11th October, or he will file GSTR 1 quarterly or IFF quarterly on 13th, and which I need to distribute on 13th only. Don't you think there will be the problem? I have to issue the invoice, obviously the date of the September, but which I come to know 11th of October or 13th of October, and the same need to be furnished by 13th October. Is it clear? The practical challenge I'm talking about, no problem in the law. I'm just only making it compare or just trying to match with the practical part. Amount of the credit distributed shall not exceed the amount credit available for distribution. So if something is not available, you can't distribute, obviously. Any question, Geet or Sanjay? Means there has to be some changes in the dates, etc., which I feel. There has to be some clarity required for this particular part. Otherwise, there would always be the gap of 1 month. September ka month ka transaction which will come to in October, the ISD will distribute the same in October, filed in November. So unnecessary, there would be the delay of 1 month. Amount of the credit distributed shall not exceed the available. The credit of the tax paid on input service attributable to a recipient of the credit shall be distributed only to that recipient. Obviously, if the credit pertain to one GST number only, in that case, ISD will not distribute to all the location. It will distribute only to that location to whom it pertains. The credit of the tax paid on ISD, the credit of the tax paid on ISD belongs to more than one recipient, attributable to more than one recipient, distributed among such recipient to whom the input service is attributable. And such distribution shall be on pro rata basis. So they are not, see, every credit need not to be transferred to all the GST number. No, to the GST number to whom it belongs. If it is 1-to-1, transfer the credit to that unit only. If it is more than one, let's say I have the 3 GST number, but the credit belongs to the only 2 GST number, then in that case, I will transfer the credit to only those 2 GST number. And what would be the basis? Pro rata basis. Pro rata basis of what would be the base? Turnover. Turnover in the state or UT of that recipient to whom we need to transfer the credit during the relevant period. Now we'll understand what is the meaning of relevant period. The aggregate turnover of all such recipient to such input service is attributable. Now let's take an example. ISD head office located in Maharashtra. Now there is one GST number of Rajasthan, there is one GST number of Punjab, there is one GST number of Kerala, there is one GST number of, let's say, Delhi. It has the turnover of 4 lakh, it has the turnover of 6 lakh, it has the turnover of 5 lakh, it has the turnover of 10 lakh. What is the total? 25 lakh. ISD head office has taken certain common services of rupees 2 lakh for the benefit of Rajasthan branch. The GST of 2 lakh is 20,000. Will this GST be distributed to all the branches or only to Rajasthan? Only to Rajasthan. There is one common credit of 5 lakh, GST part is 50,000, which is for the benefit of Rajasthan, Punjab and Haryana. Tell me, what would be the formula which I will apply? How I will distribute 50,000 for the benefit of Rajasthan, for the benefit of the Punjab and for the benefit of Karnataka. Tell me how much amount will be distributed to Rajasthan. Pro rata basis. The total turnover is 25 lakh. Individual turnover, I have given this. The GST 50,000. How it will be distributed to Rajasthan, Punjab and Haryana? Just tell me the quantum amount which you will distribute the same to the Rajasthan. कितना amount आप राजस्थान को distribute करोगे out of 50,000? Oh, so because it belongs to only three, so I will make the total aggregate turnover of these three states. That will comes to 15 lakh. To whom I like to transfer? Rajasthan. तो राजस्थान का टर्नओवर कितना है? 4 डिवाइडेड बाई 15 या 25? आंसर इज 25 या 15? 15 या 25? The answer is because it belongs to only three. See, read the language. Distributed among the recipient to whom the ITC is attributable. It means to Rajasthan, Punjab, and Karnataka or Kerala, and will be on the pro rata basis. Turnover in the state during the relevant period to the aggregate of the turnover of all recipient to whom the such ITC is attributable. It means we will take the aggregate turnover of only three states. We will take the aggregate turnover of only three states. So that will be the 15 lakh. So 50,000 divided by 15 lakh, multiplied by 4 lakh, then 6 lakh, then 5 lakh. So divide कितने से होगा? 15 से होगा, 15 lakh से divide होगा. Is it clear? Thank you. All have given the correct answer. The credit of the tax paid on input service attributable to all recipient. Now the third situation. There is one question. Common service amount input of rupees 10 lakh in the month of April. Branch Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu. All branches are existing from 24. Now the new branch open at Kerala on 15th April. How the? Just wait for some time. Just wait for some time. Will the among the nee, you are saying, so you have the turnover of every state, right? Samyanathan. So Samyanathan has asked the question that he has opened new branch but only on 15th April, middle of the month. How the credit will be distributed? So you have the turnover, right? It is see, the pro rata would be on the basis of turnover only. It means if you have the turnover of only 15 days, take that turnover and then make the total like in this manner, whatever we have discussed. Even though your turnover is for 15 days, that means amount is lesser. If you will talk about the full month ka turnover will be high, but if you're operative only for the 15 days, then the turnover of the 15 days would be counted in this calculation. Is this you like to ask or something else? Samyanathan. So Samyanathan asked the question, if any new branch open for the lesser than 1 month, that is 15 days, assume how the credit will be distributed. I have given the reply that we will take the turnover because whatever the section 20 says, whatever the rule says, the credit has to be distributed on the pro rata basis, taking the turnover. Now you might have the question, if there is no turnover, then what happened? Just wait for some time. We will have the answer. Samyanathan, kindly confirm so that we will discuss or okay. So now it is okay. The credit of the tax paid on ITC attributable to all recipient. Now it is not 1-to-1. Now it is not for more than one, but not all. Now it is for all recipient. Then very simple. We will take the total aggregate turnover and will multiply to each respective location. In the state during the relevant period to the aggregate of the turnover in which are operational in the current year during the said relevant period. So which are operational. Okay. Now they've given the formula. Formula is very simple. What is the formula? The ITC that is required to be distributed in accordance with the clause D and clause E. What was the clause D? To more than one recipient, but not all. Clause E, to all recipient. They are saying that ITC that is required to be distributed in accordance with the provision of the clause D and the clause E, whether registered or not. Now, point to be noted. The ITC will be distributed even to unregistered location also. Suppose I have one more unit factory in Tamil Nadu. Because Tamil Nadu does not make outward taxable supply, so I have not taken that registration in Tamil Nadu because it does not have any outward taxable supplies, but they have the inward supply. So for which I have, because I'm developing, I am making the factory. So for that, I have taken some technical know-how, etc. That particular ITC will be distributed by the ISD, but sir, Tamil Nadu does not have any GST number. No problem. Still, the ITC need to be distributed. Why? What could be the main purpose? You tell me what could be the main reason for such distribution? Can you tell me? क्यों मैं distribute करता हूं? Why should I distribute? Why should I distribute? Can anybody tell me? See, assume that. Now I'm saying one more beyond that. See, does it matter that it is the ITC of head office and it is the ITC of the Rajasthan? In which manner? Now we'll go beyond that. As per the law, I'm not taking eligible to take ITC. That is, everything is okay. But think about if the unit which belongs to Rajasthan, its credit is not being distributed to the Rajasthan, will the Rajasthan state government be entitled to take that benefit? We know the GST is the consumption based. तो ये वाला जो credit, if it is not distributed, then entire credit, entire benefit of that tax would be available to the ISD state. So we need to transfer the credit so that if it belongs to any other, like it is a block credit, it is not registered, no ITC is available, then Rajasthan government or respective recipient state would have the benefit of that GST. Try to understand. Let's take one more example and I'll try to make it more clear. You know that how much percentage need to be reversed by the bank? कितना परसेंटेज रिवर्स करना पड़ता है? 50%. 50%. Head office of my bank is, let's say, in Maharashtra. I am XYZ Bank. If they will receive the invoice in the regular GST number, try to understand. If they will receive the invoice in the regular GST number, let's say Maharashtra, they will reverse the 50% in the Maharashtra only. Am I right? They will reverse the 50% in Maharashtra because it is permanent reversal. Because it is permanent reversal, then entire credit benefit of the 50% will goes to Maharashtra. But this is not the actual case. Why? Because the entire service is not attributable to Maharashtra. The service belongs to the multiple state. Had this credit be transferred through ISD, had this credit be transferred through ISD, then ISD would also be transferred 100% credit and 50% reversal would be done by the respective state. And if the 50% reversal done by the respective state in their GSTR 3B under permanent reversal, that is table 4B1. So what is the benefit? Respective state will get the benefit of the 50%. Therefore, this ISD mechanism is required to be made mandatory. It has already been mandatory from this April 25. Is that clear? So whatever the point that you have told is absolutely correct. But I like to add one more point, that because it impacts the respective state revenue, it impacts the respective state ka GST revenue, and therefore this ISD has to transfer the credit. ठीक है. Now, formula is T1 divided by T multiplied by C. What is the C? C is the amount of the credit to be distributed. ठीक है. In my example, that was 50,000. T1 is the turnover as referred to in the clause D. ठीक है. And E of the person, D and D. So T1 is the turnover of the respective recipient branch, and T is the total turnover which is attributable to applicable recipient. If out of the 4 there are the 3 recipients, we'll take the aggregate turnover of only 3. In my example, that was 15 lakh. Okay. And then the ISD cell, in accordance with the provision of the clause D and the clause E, separately distribute the amount of ineligible ITC. Now try to understand. First, they have told that you will distribute the ITC even to unregistered recipient. Now they are telling you will transfer the credit which are not eligible, separately distribute the amount of ineligible credit. The ITC on account of C, S, U, and I shall be distributed separately in accordance with the provision D and E. The ITC of I shall be distributed as I to every recipient. No problem. Now try to understand what is the clause I. Clause I says that ITC of IGST to be distributed as IGST. Can we distribute I as C plus S? Can we distribute I as CGST? No, you can't. But go to the section 20 subsection 3. What we have discussed, the credit of IGST can be transferred as IGST or can be transferred as CGST also. Try to understand. I can be transferred as I or I can be transferred as C. That is what mentioned in section 20 subsection 3. But when I will read the rule 39 sub rule 1 clause I, the ITC on account of I has to be distributed as I. ITC on account of C and S cell in respect of the recipient located in same state, then it will be distributed as C and S. In respect of the recipient located in a state other than that of ISD, it means other state, will be distributed as I, and the amount so distributed shall be equal to the aggregate of the amount of central tax and state tax that qualify for distribution. Yes, it is conflicting. It is conflicting. And you are absolutely correct. Rules can't override the section. Rules can't override the section. So I feel that there is some conflict here, which might be taken care by the government in future, because somehow we all know that rule can't override the section. Correct now. So earlier there was a requirement of GSTR 2A, ITC should come in the 2A, something like that. Rule 36.4, 9th of October 2019. And ultimately, from 1 January 2022, they have inserted new section so that it should not that like rule exceeding the power from the section. (16) subsection 2 clause AA I am talking about, that ITC should appear in 2B, then only you are eligible. Meaning thereby to that extent, it appears that it is slightly beyond the, or rather I should say, restricting the power taken from section. Correct. Let's see in future. But Abhi, from exam point of view, you should be very, very clear that I can be transferred as I or C as per section 20. But I has to be transferred to as I that is being written in the rule 39. ITC on account of CGST and SGST shall, in respect of the recipient located in the same state, be distributed as ITC of the CGST and SGST. If I have received C and S, then I will distribute as C and S only within the state. If the recipient located in the state other than that of IST be distributed as IGST, and the amount to be distributed shall be equal to the aggregate amount of the input of C and S or U that qualify for distribution. So if I'm receiving inward intrastate but outward distribution to the other state, then C or S can be transferred as C plus S or I, that is written in section 20, and that is same in rule 39. ITC shall issue the ISD invoice as provided in rule 54 sub rule 1, clearly indicating that it is only for the distribution of that credit. So now there is a requirement to issue an additional invoice. The ISD shall issue the credit note for reduction of the credit in case excess ITC has been distributed. Any additional amount of ITC on account of issuance of the debit note to an ISD by the supplier shall be distributed in the manner and subject to the condition specified in the clause A to clause A, and the amount attributable to any of the recipient shall be calculated in the manner provided in the clause F. Let's read once again. Any additional amount of ITC on account of issuance of the debit note to an ISD by the supplier shall be distributed in the manner and subject to the condition as written in the clause A to clause J, and the amount attributable to any recipient shall be calculated in the manner provided in the clause F. What was the clause F? Formula. Okay. The ISD shall issue the ISD, sorry. Any additional amount on account of the debit note to ISD by the supplier shall be distributed to the recipient A to J, and the amount attributable shall be calculated as per the formula, and such credit shall be distributed in the manner in which the debit note is included in the return GSTR 6. Like invoice. And any ITC required to be reduced on account of issuance of the credit note to the ISD, any ITC required to be reduced on account of issuance of the credit note to the ISD by the supplier shall be apportioned to each of the recipient in the same ratio in which the ITC contained in the original was distributed in terms of the clause F. And the amount so apportioned shall be reduced from the amount to be distributed in the month in which the credit note is included in GSTR 6. Added to the output tax, see, reduced from the amount to be distributed, and अगर वो amount नहीं है, तो it will be added to the output tax liability of the recipient, so a portion in the negative by virtue of the amount of the credit under distribution being less than the amount to be adjusted. तो जितना क्रेडिट नोट का अमाउंट नेगेटिव अपोर्शन है उतना अमाउंट उसके लाइबिलिटी में एड बैक हो जाए. Intentionally, I am keeping on hold this clause 1A intentionally. Why? Before that, I like to ask something to you on that. We'll do the discussion after the break. Okay. So I think just read the sub rule 2. If the amount of the ITC distributed by an ISD is reduced later on, if the amount of ISD if the amount of ITC distributed by the ISD is reduced later on for any reason, including it was distributed to the wrong, the process specified in the clause N will be applied for the reduction. What was the clause N? Clause N talks about issuance of the credit note. Ayush, even if it is unregistered, then they have to allocate accordingly, na? Because if the recipient is unregistered, see, try to understand, just tell me if it is clear or not. If my recipient is unregistered, then when I have originally transferred the credit, whether he has taken that credit, answer is no. He will not take the credit because it's not registered. So when I have excess distributed, then I will reduce that credit. Again, he is required to reverse or he is required to add the output tax liability. Answer would be no. See, if once you take on the original, then only you need to reverse. जब original आपने लिया ही नहीं, तो reversal क्यों? Then what is the benefit? Now your question is good. Then what is the benefit? It will goes to the settlement. When I distributed the ITC to the unregistered, then that state will got the additional amount from central government or from IGST pool. That amount will goes to the state because I was given to the unregistered. To that state it will goes. And in the subsequent month, when there is a credit note allocated to this particular recipient, I will pass this as a negative. Then the allocation would got reduced. In that month. Clear? I hope it is clear. Ayush, thank you. Now, Samyanathan has asked one question. If I forgot in the month of the July 24, okay, but it was available in the GSTR 6A. Samyanathan, you mean to say it was available in the GSTR 6A? Just confirm. So let me ask this question to all. Let me explain this point to all and then we'll give the answer. I am ISD. I have received one credit in the month of the July in GSTR 6A. But somehow I forgot to give the same to my recipient. Can I pass in the next month, any month? Answer is yes. My GSTR does not restrict that you can transfer the credit only to the extent of available in 6A of current month. It can be of the previous month also. No one-to-one relation as of now, as per my understanding. Is that clear? So answer is yes, you can. through GSTR 6. There's a multiple table, table 3, table 4. You can add the amount of allocation which include that previous month also. No, Ayush, which I am transferring the credit, should the invoice should be of same month? Is that you mean to say? I am ISD. No, no, no. If I have missed some ITC, it is possible now. Isn't it possible? So tell me one thing. Tell me one thing. Assume that the supply was of July. Assume that supply was of July 2025. But supplier has filed a delayed return in the month of August, and that to be after 15th August, 13th August, 14th August, whatever the date. Then in that case, the invoice date was of July, but I can transfer in the month of September. Second point, please remember, normal regular taxpayer, I'm asking, if I missed certain ITC, are we allowed to take that ITC till the time of 16/4? अगर मैंने कोई क्रेडिट छोड़ दिया गलती से, but it was available in 2B in month 1, can't I take that credit in 2 month, 3 month later on? क्या मैं ले सकता हूं या नहीं ले सकता हूं? I can, and therefore the benefit of the ITC can't be denied by the government. Benefit of the ITC can't be denied by the government just because of error or omission. Any error or omission, you have the time limit of till 30th November. For regular taxpayer, I'm talking about. Similarly, here also, if you missed the ITC in the month of the July, definitely you can add in the 2 month, 3 month after that. नहीं, ISD same month का invoice, obviously. See, to my understanding, ISD तो सेम मंथ का होगा ना. ISD तो सेम मंथ का होगा. अगर उसने ऐसा नहीं होगा, right, Ayush, it will not be like I have issued the ISD invoice in the month of July and I forgot to add that same in the month of the July ISD. It cannot be. So in that case, it is advisable to cancel that invoice, make the current month invoice. Saminathan, I'm coming to that point. Rule 39, sub rule 1. See, the ITC available for distribution in a month shall be distributed in the same month and the details shall be furnished in the R6. Now, just allow me 2 minutes. Let me open if something is available. Just tell me. Just allow me 1 minute. Again, whatever I'm discussing right now, that is not for exam point of view, but because you asked the question practically, I'm trying to solve that practically. Saminathan, you mean to say in class 8 to be distributed in the same month? Okay. Just then allow me to complete that rule 39 and then we'll discuss this point. Otherwise, I will park this question and we'll discuss on Sunday. Otherwise, I will park this question so that I can explain some part of the GSTR 6 also, by which you would have the more clarity. I got your question. Allow me till Sunday. In the Sunday morning, I will take up this part and then we'll start the new discussion. मैं ये वाला part आपका cover कर लूंगा by allocating the GSTR, by by showing the GSTR 6 का functionality, and please be noted, it is nothing to do with the exam. ठीक है? So fine. Then if the amount of the ITC distributed by an ISD is reduced later on for any reason other for any of the recipient, including it was distributed to the wrong, then shall apply whatever. Subject to the sub-rule 2. What is the sub-rule 2? If the amount of the ITC distributed by ISD is reduced later on for any other reason for any of the recipient, including it was distributed to the wrong, then the ISD shall, on the basis of ISD credit note specified in the clause L of sub-rule 1, issue an ISD invoice to the recipient entitled to such credit and include the ISD credit note and the ISD invoice in the GSTR 6 for the month in which such credit note and invoice was issued. You got the point? What is means? ISD head office. In the month of, let's say, July, they have given the credit to the Rajasthan recipient. Okay. Now they come to know in the month of August that it has been wrongly distributed. What they, in the month of August, September, whatever, in the month, any month, September, then what HO will do, ISD will do, he will issue the credit note to the Rajasthan and he will issue the tax invoice to, let's say, Tamil Nadu. Subject to the sub-rule 2. It means this Rajasthan has to reverse that input tax credit. In accordance with the clause N, IST shall, on the basis of specified in the clause L, issue an invoice to entitle to such credit and include the credit note in the GSTR 6. So we'll issue the invoice and credit note by distributing this credit. Explanation. For the purpose of this rule, the term relevant period shall, if the recipient of the credit have the turnover in their state or UT in the financial year preceding the year in which credit note is distributed, preceding the year during which credit is to be distributed, the said financial year. तो अगर क्रेडिट जिसको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना है स्टेट को, it has the turnover in the financial year preceding the year during which such credit is to be distributed, then the said financial year, or if some or all of the credit do not have the turnover in the financial year preceding the year during which credit is to be distributed, then last quarter for which the details of such turnover of all the recipient are available previous to the month during which credit is to be distributed. तो इस करंट मंथ को छोड़ दूंगा इसके पीछे वाले क्वार्टर का. The expression recipient of the credit means the supplier of goods or service or both which have the same PAN and that of the ISD. Obviously, we are talking about the distribution of credit through this mechanism only to the distinct person. The term turnover in relation to any of the registered person engaged in the supply of taxable goods as well as goods not taxable under this act means the value reduced by the amount of any duty or the taxes levied under entry 84 and 92 of the list 1 constitution. So they are talking about excise duty, CST, etc. I'll give you the name. So turnover exclude central excise duty, state excise duty, central sales tax and VAT. These are the reference of entry. This one, entry 8492A of the list 1 of 7th schedule, that will be the central excise duty, and entry 51 and 54 of the list 2 of the said schedule, that will be the state list. It is the central list, it is the state list. List 2 is the state list, and list 2 would contain the like VAT, state excise duty, etc. And it will have the central excise duty and CST. Let's take a break of 10 minutes. We'll resume after 10 minutes. Then we'll read this the rule 39 1A, and I will do the one discussion, and then we'll move to the some question answer of that particular given in the study material in this particular part. And Geet, I have given the homework. Can you help me to recall what was the homework and what was your answer? Just 10 minute break, and then we'll resume. Asukji. asking one question to all of you, and then I will read the rule 39, sub rule 1A. Mr. A is an advocate. Okay. Given the service to multiple branches. See Rajasthan, Haryana, Delhi, Tamil Nadu, etc. So both question we have discussed. Yes, Geet, both question we have discussed, right? ठीक है. Thank you, yaar. Advocate is registered at Delhi. ठीक है. Let me try to make the question and then I will ask entire flow. ISD is located in Maharashtra. Rajasthan, Haryana, Delhi, and Tamil Nadu. Let's say Delhi ki jagah I'm changing the name. Kerala. Yeah, रहने देते हैं दिल्ली. Huh? It will good. It will good for all of us. Now tell me, their question number 1. Can ISD Maharashtra be able to pay the tax under RCM? Yes or no? I'll ask a couple of questions. The answer is no. Question number 2. How then RCM liability be paid off? In which state? So you are saying that take the registration under regular category. Take the registration under regular category, yes? In which state? Take the registration under regular category in which state? Till now you all are okay. In which form he will pay the tax under RCM? In which form Maharashtra will pay the tax under RCM? GSTR 3B. Very precise, I can say table 3.1.d of GSTR 3B. In which form the Maharashtra will distribute the credit of RCM to Maharashtra ISD? In which form I'm talking about? That is, again, it comes to very good question. It comes to very good question. It comes to very good question based on answer. Again, understand. In which form Maharashtra will distribute the credit of RCM? Now tell me one thing. This credit, question 3A, the above credit is with Maharashtra regular GST or Maharashtra IST? As of now, the above credit, once it take in the GSTR 3B, will this credit be in the regular GST number or Maharashtra IST? Obviously, regular. The answer is regular. Then this ITC would be transferred to ISD. How? Who will transfer this ITC to ISD? Okay. Tell me one more thing. Select one option. The Maharashtra regular GST number will transfer to ISD Maharashtra, and then ISD will transfer to the all location. Option number 1. Second option, Maharashtra regular GST number will directly raise the invoice to all the branches. Which option is correct? Ayush, GST form. You all are correct that this option has to be opted. It means the advocate has given the service to the multiple branches. So who will pay the tax? So here they will take the registration in Maharashtra under regular category. They will pay the tax under RCM, and that ITC would be distributed to the IST by GSTR1. And then once ISD receive the ITC, it will distribute to the all location. Now the one more good question. Whether RCM liability paid by Maharashtra regular GST, will it be CGST and SGST or it will be IGST? Very important question. मैं आता हूं आयुष, मैं आता हूं. I will come to that particular. I will frame one more question and will explain that point. नहीं, who is in the same state? Geet, who is in the same state? Who two are in the same state? Let me placement of this question be changed, and I'm asking this question here. You are saying that the Maharashtra GST, regular GST number, will pay the tax under RCM by reporting in 3.1.d. Now, by paying this, which tax he will pay? For paying the tax under RCM, which two location we will see? The location of supplier and place of supply. In this example, what is the location of supplier? Advocate service taken from Delhi, then it will be Delhi. What is the place of supply? Assuming I'm applying section 12, subsection 2, in the absence of any specific provision, I will go by 12.2, and based on that, I can say Maharashtra is the place of supply. Which tax will be paid? Any doubt? It will be IGST. Any doubt? It will be IGST. Answer is IGST. If you have any doubt, you tell me. The last, mostly the last question. Will this IGST, will this IGST under regular registration be transferred to ISD Maharashtra? See, point number one is clear that now the regular registration which has the ITC will be transferred to the ISD registration. Correct? You have selected that option one. How it will be? How it will be? Then you have given the answer to GSTR1 because let's say Maharashtra GST regular category, whether he will file the GSTR1 3B or GSTR6. If Maharashtra regular registration is there, which return they will file? R1 3B or R6? The answer is R1 3B. The answer is R1 3B. Correct. When how the credit would goes to the IST? How the credit would goes to the IST? He will issue the simple normal tax invoice. How the credit will be transferred? Form number, document. So first 6A was the question on form number. 6B is the question on tax invoice. I will issue. Will it be a normal charge or will it be RCM? Try to understand. Once the document come, try to understand. Once the document come from advocate to the regular GST number, it was RCM document, but regular when it will transfer to ISD, it will issue the normal charge. It will charge the GST on the tax invoice. It will be from regular to ISD by charging the GST. Now for ISD, is it still an RCM document? Tell me, for ISD, is it still an RCM document? For ISD, is it still RCM document? Answer is no. We have talked about normal charge. In GSTR1, now this question is important. When, listen question carefully, and this is what I like to explain in Rule 39(1)(a). Not this one. Just wait for a minute. When not regular registration transfer to IST, then will it be C plus S or I? Let me write. When Maharashtra regular GST number transfer to Maharashtra ISD, will it be C plus S or I? Very important question, my dear friend. Very important question, believe me. Because they are in same state. So all are saying. I'm just not answering. I am not answering as per you. It will be C plus S because same state. Fine. Tell me, just confirm one thing. Just confirm one thing, that whatever you are saying to me, जस्ट एक बार मुझे प्रोविजन रीड करने दीजिए, जो हम ऑलरेडी रीड कर चुके हैं. Is it because of this point? Is it because of this point you are saying CGST and SGST? Is it because of this point? Just asking. Yes or no? Is it because of this point? Yes or no? Oh my God. मजा आया आपका आंसर सुन के यार, सभी लोगों का. Why not? Ayush, why no? Sanjay, why no? Geet, have given the reason. Great, thank you. Wow, Yogesh, very nice, yaar beta. You all are saying very good thing to you. Very good thing. Very great. हाँ, करेक्ट. तो ये बात कहां लिखी है? वेयर इट इज रिटन देन? वेयर इट इज रिटन? नाउ रीड rule 39 sub rule 1A and tell me this question. See, whatever I have discussed 10-15 minutes to create the base and get it clear, whatever the question I have asked just now to you, is it covered in 39(1)(a? That you have to answer. Let's read 39(1)(a) and you give me the answer. Normal Maharashtra to IST Maharashtra, is it being covered in 39(1)(a) or not? एक मिनट रुकिए यार, एक ही पेज पर ले आता हूं, ज्यादा बेटर है. For the distribution of the credit in respect of input service attributable to one or more distinct person subject to RCM, a registered person having the same PAN state code as an IST may issue an invoice, as the case may be, credit debit note as per the provision of 54 1A to transfer the credit of such common input service to the IST, and such credit shall be distributed to the said IST in the manner as provided in sub rule 1. Is it getting covered in this also or not? Whatever the question I've asked, IST Maharashtra regular, Maharashtra regular to Maharashtra IST, the credit which will be transferred, is it covered in the 39(1)(a) or not? Is it covered in the 39(1)(a) or not? Yes or no? Is it covered or not? It is covered. It is covered. Absolutely correct. Now you tell me, still the answer for this question is same or change? Still the answer for this question is same or change? Still the answer for this question is same or changed? Just tell me. What was the question? Key credit will be distributed C plus S or I. Let me highlight the provision once again. You might like to read and then give the answer. For the distribution of the credit in respect of input service attributable to one or more distinct person, subject to levy of RCM. Registered person having the same PAN and state code as an ISD, that is Maharashtra, may issue an invoice within the same state, or as the case may be, credit or debit note, as per the provision of Rule 54(1)(a), to transfer the credit of such common ITC, such common ITC, such common ITC. Is it IGST or is it C plus S? Which credit they need to transfer? Is it IGST or is it CGST and SGST? Is it IGST or is it C plus S? IGST. Because the regular GST number has paid the tax under RCM as IGST. So they are saying they will transfer the credit of such input service to the ISD, credit of such common input service. So whatever they see, normally what happen, if they have received IGST, they will distribute IGST. Therefore, once the ISD will receive in as IGST, they can distribute as IGST. There is one interpretation because of this such common input service. Again, exam point of view, I'm not talking about, I'm just talking about for discussion and practical understanding. Because of this word such, there is one equal interpretation that IGST the credit will be transferred by the Maharashtra as IGST only. So that the inward for ISD, that credit for ISD would be same which is applicable on the RCM document. So original, if IGST is being paid, then IST should also receive IGST. It should not change the color. It should not change the category. Now IGST has the option to distribute as IGST, or if within the state, then C plus S. Whatever you have discussed, the above provision is applicable. Above provision is applicable. So that point we have discussed, difference between 20 subsection 3 and Rule 39. I to I or I to I or C plus S. That point we have discussed. Subject to that, so if they have received IGST, that regular GST number, it should transfer as IGST only. This is my point. Is it clear? Now you will ask one more question. You will ask one more question. Now you will ask one more question. What is that question? I tell you. Again, that practical question, nothing to do with the theory, nothing to do with the exam. Can practical difficulty I'm talking about. Can Maharashtra GST number raise the invoice to Maharashtra ISD in GSTR 1? Can it be IGST? Answer is no. System will not accept. System is not accepting. So problem is, from the law it appeared to clear. From the portal there is some problem which might be rectified in the future, or maybe changes in the law. You got. Now from my side, this 39(1)(a) discussion is complete. Any question from your side, you may ask. Final answer is IGST, but practical difficulty can't be IGST. Final answer as per the law is IGST, but practical difficulty cannot be IGST. So practical problem is there, but I'm talking about the law. We are reading the law, not the portal. Correct? We are not reading the portal. We are reading the law. But I am also telling the practical exposure to you. मैंने सभी एंगल से क्लैरिफाई करने का कोशिश किया. Just tell me from all the angle, all the point is clear to you. Once again, please confirm from all angle, law point of view, practical R1 3B point of view. एग्जाम में आएगा भी नहीं, इतना इतना पॉइंट आएगा नहीं ना एग्जाम में। ऐसा ऐसा थोड़ी पूछेंगे R1 में कैसे रिपोर्ट करोगे, 3B में कैसे रिपोर्ट करोगे। You simply say that it will be transferred in the such same manner in which it has been received, so it will be IGST. इतना minute question कहाँ एग्जाम में आता है? एग्जाम is checking something different. Exam is checking something different. The entire things which I have explained is the practical difficulty. Exam you like to write the theoretical, then theoretical answer would be IGST. Shall we proceed further? Shall we proceed further? अब आते हैं लास्ट जो अपना टाइम बचा हुआ है. विल डू सम प्रैक्टिकल केस स्टडी, सम प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चन है. Just allow me 1 minute. Just allow me 1 minute. Just opening the document and then we'll start the question answer. ठीक है. So ABC Company Limited, Bangalore is a manufacturer and the registered supplier of the machinery. Okay. It has provided the following detail. Health insurance for the factory employee as required by the factory is 20,000. Whether ITC would be available or not. Along with reason. Along with reason. The answer is yes or no. The answer is yes. It would be ITC would be available. So I can say that like working mode, you can say that ITC on the health insurance fact as required by the factory is eligible as per the section 17 subsection 5 because it is mandatory for an employer to provide to its employee. its employee as part of law. ठीक है? ITC would be available. Let's make one chart also. So ITC eligible. Now, raw material for which invoice has been received and GST has also been paid for full amount, but only 50% of the material has been received. Remaining 50% will be received in the next month. Give me the answer along with reason. Give me the answer along with reason. Raw material for which invoice has been received and the GST for one second. ITC on the goods received in lot is eligible only on the last lot. Correct? As per the section 16(2) का proviso. ठीक है? As last lot received in next month, therefore no ITC in the current month, even though full amount is paid. Is that clear? Very simple, no? So 50% also ITC available. Will the 50% ITC be available? Will the 50% ITC be available? Yeah, full ITC will be available in the next month. Whether pro rata concept is applicable here or not? Answer is no. Samyanathan. No, Geet. The pro rata concept is, can you show the question once again? Sure, this is the question. No, Samyanathan, still you cannot take 9,000 ITC in the month. You cannot take the ITC of 9,000. They are saying invoices of the full amount. So invoices of 18,000. You have received the 18,000 invoice, my dear friend. Samyanathan, let me explain once again. It is important. You have received the invoice of 18,000. You have received the full invoice, but goods 50%. Will you still take the ITC of the 50%? Answer is no. Why no? Go to the proviso. Go to the section 16(2) ka proviso. Go to the section 16(2) ka proviso. If invoice is there, means I'm explaining in my own language. If invoice is there, let's say combined invoice, for which you are receiving the goods in lot, then the 16(2) ka proviso is clearly saying that you are entitled to take the ITC only when the last lot is received. They are not talking about the proportionate ITC. They are not talking about the proportionate ITC. Just allow me 1 minute. I'll go to the 16(2) and then explain this point. Is it okay, Samyanathan? If there is a part invoice, then obviously the answer yes. All are correct. If I have received the invoice for 9,002 invoice, then for first invoice, because I have received the full quantity, then there will be no question. But in the exam, this question would not come like in this manner, part invoice. In the exam, the question would always be single invoice for which you have received the goods in lot. ठीक है, चलिए सर. ठीक है. So what we can say? No ITC. Here I can say no ITC. ठीक है. जब मैंने एग्जाम, whenever I have given the exam na, so I was used to write this working note number 1, working note number 2. Work contact service used for installation of machinery. Will you give the ITC along with reason? It is allowed. It is allowed. Okay. हाँ, ठीक है. ठीक है. So we can say this ITC would be available. ठीक है. Plant नहीं, purchase of manufacturing machine sent directly to the job worker premises under delivery challan. Will the ITC be available? Which provision will apply? Can I write some section number? Can I write some section number? Oh, is it so? एक मिनट रुकिए फिर. Give me 1 minute. Let me open the study material. Let me open the study material and go to the respective provision. Let me open the study material. एक मिनट रुकिए. Give me 1 minute यार. It is important thing to discuss with you. I might have missed. So fine. Let me show you the. This provision is given in section 19. You all are correct that it is like bill to ship to model. Correct. But for when we are talking about specifically job worker, it is exactly equal to the bill to ship to model. But problem is that in case of the job worker, the special provision has been given in the section 19, which is discussed in the chapter 16. So the answer would be Here, the answer would be section 19. ITC is being allowed. ITC is being allowed. Chapter 16 में हम बात करेंगे. We'll discuss in detail. But the answer would be, if I like to give the section number, then it will be section 19. ठीक है? Is that okay? I thought I have missed this particular provision. So what about the purchase of the car? Directly by director exclusively for business purpose. Allowed now, because it is completely for business purpose, no personal purpose involved. ITC allowed? Oh. Sanjay, your sign is wrong. You have given the lesser than sign. This is wrong. Why? Why this is wrong? It will be. So tell me, when I'm using the word 13-seater, then will I use this word, this sign? Or will I use this sign? Which sign will be preferred? Or something else? The sign would always be used like this because the word is up to. Because the word is up to, so never use less than sign. Never use equal to sign. It will be the combination of both. Less than equal to. So ITC on the motor vehicle, even if it is exclusively for the business purpose, then also ITC is blocked in section 17 subsection 5 clause A, assumed that the motor vehicle is up to 13 seaters. Is that fine? Correct. ठीक है. So here I will say also nil. Outdoor catering service allowed, availed for the business meeting. यहाँ तो मिल जाएगा ना? Is it okay or still not? मना मत करना sir. You have already told so many things. This is also not available. अरे my God. Can you make that total? What is that total? पाँच छह सात 82,000. ठीक है. So now, what was the ask of this question? We have calculated the eligible ITC only, right? Correct. ABC Company Limited also provides the service of hiring of the machine along with manpower of the operation. As per the trade practice, machine are always hired out along with the operator, and also operator are supplied when machine are hired out. Okay. Outward supply is 5,25,000 for machine hiring and service charge for 235. Assume that servicing rate is 12% and manpower is 18%. Compute the GST liability. So calculation of GST liability. Now tell me which rate I will use. It is 12% and it is 18%, right? Because the question is being saying so. No, it is 12%. Why? Because it is a composite supply. So here you need to explain this particular part. So I am writing in my own language. The language can be improved, can be better as per your understanding. Ancillary supply will be taxable at the same rate as of principal supply as per section 8 of CGST Act. Okay. In this case, the hiring of machine is a principal supply and manpower service charge for operator is ancillary, and therefore the service charge for manpower operator is also taxable at 12%. Okay? So here we can say working note 7, something like that. So what is the amount comes? Can anybody calculate and tell me the total liability? Sir, I'll open the Excel sheet or you tell me. Total amount na 91,200. Total amount 91,200, is it? Okay, you have given the bifurcation. Nice. So now you can compute the tax liability. You have computed the tax liability and you have computed the ITC. Now, what is the ask of the question? Let me go to the question. Compute the amount of the ITC available as also the net GST payable from the cash ledger. Assume opening balance is nil. So what is the liability to be paid in cash? So that you can say, what is the liability to be paid in cash? Assume opening is 0. 82,000 is the ITC and 91,200 is the liability. Total liability to be discharged through cash ledger is equal to 91,200 minus 82,000. 10,000 में 800 कम, 9,200। ठीक है, चलिए। Let's take a break of another 10 minutes and then we'll resume to do this question. Yeah, ये वाला क्वेश्चन करते हैं. This last one more question, and if time permit, then we'll take the first one. That one more. ठीक है. Measure. Can we assume that director that car normally क्या है, more than 13 सीटर की मोटर व्हीकल है ना, नॉर्मली नहीं होता, तो बेटर ये है कि आप इसको 13 सीटर एज्यूम कर लो और ITC ब्लॉक कर दो. नॉर्मल प्रैक्टिस. बट इफ यू से दैट कैन वी डू दिस, आंसर इज यस. यू कैन एज्यूम कि दैट assume that it is more than 13 seater, therefore ITC is allowed. But it is advisable to, in the absence of the information, it is always advisable to use or assume the car is up to 13 seater. Because what they like to give, they have given the business purpose, so they like to test over there. They like to test the examination. Examiner like to test over there that whether you are allowing the ITC considering business purpose. So main point is that, so it is advisable to use less than up to 13 seater. ठीक है. संजय, मैं समझा नहीं. ओनली व्हेन, मैं समझा नहीं वर्ड, आप कुछ टाइपो मिस्टेक है सर. लेट्स टेक द ब्रेक, विल रिज्यूम एट 9:15. अच्छा, नो टाइपो. ओ, मुझे नहीं आता फिर. मुझे नहीं आता. विल सी, विल सी. Shall we start? ठीक sir. See, Flowchem has entered into the contract with our refinery, Abu Road, on 1st July to supply 10 valve on FOR basis. Following information is provided. List price per value is 1 lakh, exclusive of tax. One of the conditions of the contract is that Flowchem should ensure the two-stage third-party inspection for the value during the manufacturing process. Cost of these two inspection of 15,000 is directly paid by the R refinery. Which provision will come to your mind? If you say that it is directly paid by the R refinery, then which provision will comes to your mind? Which provision will comes to your mind? Is it section? Correct, correct, Geet. Right, Sanjay. My question is which provision will comes to. So this we will do directly. This will do the directly question. So total 10 walls है. So and list price per wall is 1 lakh rupees. Can we say that it will be added in the value? Can we say that it will be added in the value? Can we say that it will be added in the value? Ten values of the 1 lakh is equal to 10,000. 10 lakh, correct? It will be added in the value? Correct. It will be added in the value. What is the value? Two-stage inspection. Cost of the two-stage inspection. Cost of the two-stage inspection. Cost of the two-stage inspection 15,000 would be added in the value. Am I right? Now move to the R refinery require the special packing. Cost of the packing is 10,000 rupees. Now, will it be added in the value or not? Give me the reason. So now I'm not writing the working note. Now I'm not writing the working note so that we can cover one or two more questions. This time, this packing is not being paid directly by the R. Still, it will be added in the value. Answer is yes. Answer is yes, because we know that any charges, packing charges, etc., that is being paid by the that is being incurred and being collected from the recipient will be added in the value. $10,000. Now, Flowchem arranged for erection and testing supplied by it at our refinery site. Cost of the erection is 15,000. Will it be added in the value? Again, it will be added in the value. It will be added in the value. Yes, it will be added in the value. Goods are dispatched with the tax invoice on 20 July. They reach the destination at Abu Road on 21st July. Lorry receipt of 5,000 has been paid by the R refinery directly to the lorry driver. Now tell me, will it be added in the value or not along with reason? Will it be added in the value along with reason? Will it be added in the value along with reason? Again, I can say it is being paid by the recipient and it is the liability of the supplier, so it will be added in the value. Or not. Just sell me. Supplier not liable to pay, not included. Okay. No RCM will be paid by the refinery. Supply contract on FOR, so he is not liable, then therefore not be added. And vice versa, if it is like on CIF basis, then it will be added. So based on the liability, it will be added in the value. Correct? Whatever the GST liability, you can multiply the same. So main question is completed. We'll do one more question. Or you want me to just do the quick revision of the entire discussion? So would you like to take up the question, or you want me to do the quick revision of the entire ITC chapter? Just allow me 1 minute. Charger ले रहा हूँ. Just allow me 1 minute. Ayush, though you have asked the question bit early, that if the question says invoicing is separately, then yes, it will be applied. Then the separately, then separate it will be applied. Then including question. Sorrow. Quick revision. Fine, no problem. We'll do the quick revision. So we have the sufficient time today, and I will ask on the entire ITC chapter, whatever the question which comes to my mind, I will ask. Okay. Within how many days I need to make the payment to the supplier, otherwise ITC need to be reversed? The answer is 180 days. Now tell me the transaction on which this 180 days ka reversal is not applicable. Tell me where the reversal of the 180 days is not applicable. Situation when this reversal will not be applicable. There would be the good number of that example. It could be the, I'm asking everyone, see everyone kindly support. Ayush, Yogesh, okay, Yogesh has given the answer. Samyanathan, okay. So first is RCM, yes, 180 days ka reversal is not applicable. Then deemed to be paid, then answer would be like schedule 1, it will not attract the reversal. Schedule 1, and one more, that 15 subsection 2, where the recipient is directly making the payment to the expenditure of which supplier is liable, then to that extent it will not included in the value. Then I can say it will be added in the value, but again this amount will not be paid. 15 subsection 2 clause B. ठीक है. Or next question, if the goods are received in lot, then ITC would be available only on the ITC would be available only on the last lot. The ITC would be available on the receipt of the last lot. What is the time limit to take the ITC? What is the time limit to take the ITC? What is the time limit to take the ITC? November 30th following the end of the financial or annual return, whichever is earlier. What is the last day to declare the credit note? What is the last day to issue the credit note? What is the last day to issue the credit note? Sorry, I think this question does not pertain to here. Kindly excuse. Are you aware of that? What is the last day to issue the credit note? If you are aware, then just tell me. ये section 34 का है. Issue the credit note. What is the last day to issue the credit note? Oh. What is the last date to issue the credit note? Oh my God. Why you are saying no last date? Why you are saying no last date? All are saying no last date. Wait. See, if I am a supplier, I need to pay the tax to the government, increase in the liability, there would be no last date. See, try to understand from two angles. If I am talking about the supplier, by any document, if the supplier is paying the tax to the government, increasing the liability, in that case, there will be no last date. He has to pay along with interest. But if the supplier is decreasing the liability, then there would always be the last date. Therefore, section 34 subsection 2, which says that credit note has to be declared, point to be noted, the word declare is there, 30th November or filing of annual return, whichever is earlier. Same time limit. Same time limit which we talked about for ITC, the same time limit is for credit note. But point to be noted, the time limit is for declaration. Now talk about recipient. If recipient required to reverse the ITC, no time limit. If recipient required to reverse the ITC, no time limit. If recipient like to take the ITC, then there would be the time limit. Is this point clear? Is this point clear? Credit note के कारण supplier अपनी liability decrease करता है. Therefore, there is a last date to issue the credit note. Same ITC का जो बात था, वो declaration है, issue नहीं है, ध्यान रखना. हाँ, so where is the last date? Declaration of the credit note supplier के point of view से, और where is the last date? To take the ITC from recipient point of view. ठीक है. See, there is one concept of temporary reversal and reclaim which we discussed in the 180 days, Rule 37. Similar concept is also there, wherein rule is saying that you can reverse the ITC temporary, and whenever the condition is being satisfied, you can reclaim. Temporary reversal and reclaim is happening at one more place. Can you please tell me? Okay, no problem. We are saying that if this condition is not satisfied, then the recipient required to reverse the ITC, and on satisfaction of the condition, recipient can reclaim the ITC. It is Rule 37 capital A, where when the reversal will be applicable, if the supplier does not file the GSTR 3B of financial year till the 30th September of next financial year, recipient need to reverse the ITC till 30th November without interest. When can reclaim? Whenever the tax will be paid. Whenever the tax will be paid by the supplier, he can reclaim. ठीक है. So section for the purpose of reversal of common ITC, whether zero rated supply is considered as exempted or taxable. Taxable including zero rated. If I am exporting the exempted item, will I be allowed to take ITC? If I'm exporting the exempted item, will I be allowed to take ITC? Very nice. The answer is yes. You are allowed to take ITC because 16(2) of IGST Act says that even if it is exempted item, you are allowed to take ITC. अगर आपने export किया, if you have done the export, then it will be treated as zero rated supply. Once the supply becomes zero rated, it is exempted or taxable, doesn't matter. You are allowed to take ITC. 17(3) widen the scope of reversal of common ITC. Exempted, which are prescribed, that is exempted. In addition to that, some more supplies are considered as exempted. Tell me which one. Let me repeat once again. 17 subsection 3 has widened the scope of exempt supply. So whatever the exempt supply has been prescribed, that is exempted. But in addition to that, there are four transactions have been specified that exempted, which attract the reversal. Tell me those transactions. T, let me repeat my question. अभी तक मुझे सही आंसर नहीं आया. Whether let me ask in part and parcel. Whether non-taxable supply is an exempt supply. The answer is yes. So when I'm saying the word exempt supply, obviously three types of the transactions are included in the exempt supply. First is three types of the transactions are given in the definition of the exempt supply. Three types of the transactions are given in the exempt supply definition. Tell me three transactions. Nil rated supply, then exempted by way of notification, and non-GST, non-taxable supplies. These are the already exempt supply, which attract the reversal. My question to all of you, that apart from these transactions, there would be some more transactions which considered as exempted supply and will attract the reversal? That is my question. Giving you one hint. Outward RCM is taxable, but it's considered as exempted for the purpose of reversal. Sale of securities, sale of land and completed building. These are exempted for the purpose of 17(2). Now, normally Schedule 3 will attract the reversal or will not attract the reversal. Normally, except two entry, normally apart from these two entry, Schedule 3 will attract the reversal of common ITC or will not attract the reversal of common ITC. Schedule 3 के कारण रिवर्सल करना या नहीं करना, दो एंट्री को छोड़कर. Apart from the two entry which is being specified in the explanation, leave these two entry. Apart from that, rest all the entries of the Schedule 3, will it attract the reversal or not? Answer is it will not attract the reversal. Only these two entry, para 5, that is sale of land and completed building, para 8A, that is warehouse goods before filing the bill of entry for home consumption. These two entry attract the reversal. Rest entries of the Schedule 3 will not attract the reversal. What is the valuation of the sale of security? What is the valuation of the sale of securities? What is the valuation of sale of securities? One percent of sale value. 1% of sale value. In case of the car insurance, when the ITC would be allowed? In case of insurance of car, when the ITC would be allowed? Oh my God. Very nice, yeah. In short and very quick. If the car is used for prescribed purpose, absolutely correct. And then if it is a manufacturer of the car, then allowed. And third is if it is an insurance company, then allowed. Then allowed. If I have purchased the truck, then for taking the input tax credit, do I need to prove that I am using that truck for the eligible purpose? Further supply, training, etc. Transportation. अगर मैंने कोई ट्रक परचेज किया है, will I be allowed to take the ITC only after satisfaction of eligible situation? Answer is no requirement, because if you are saying that it is a transportation of goods, it is allowed. Can I take the ITC of truck if I am using for transportation of my own goods? ITC allowed. It is not important whether you are using for your own or whether you are using for other. ITC on capital goods, ITC on capital goods will always be allowed, or there is some, see, I have purchased the furniture fixture. Can I take the ITC or I have to see some condition? अगर मुझे फर्नीचर फिक्चर का आईटीसी लेना which is capitalized in the books, can I take the depreciation and ITC both at the same time? Okay, fine. Let me ask the question once again. If I have taken the ITC on purchase of furniture fixtures, then I cannot claim the depreciation at all on the furniture and fixture. Then I cannot claim the depreciation on the furniture and fixture at all. Is that clear? Is that correct? ITC cannot be claimed. Yes, cannot claim the ITC and depreciation both at the same time. But on what component? On the GST component. It means if I have purchased the furniture and fixture for thus 10 lakh rupees, assume that there is a 1,80,000 tax, I can claim the ITC and depreciation on taxable value. What is the problem? What is the harm in that? ITC on the demo car is available. ITC on the demo car is available. If I have capitalized that demo car in my books of accounts. If I have capitalized that demo car in my books of accounts. Okay. Chalo, fine, very good, yeah. Some question is tricky, that good, yeah, that good. Answer is yes, available. It is not available only when if I am acting as a yes marketing agent हो तो नहीं मिलेगा. If I am non-resident taxable person, I can take the ITC on one item, which is what is that? If I am non-resident taxable person, I can avail the ITC on which component? Very nicely explained, Yogesh. Last question. Very nicely. ITC on import of the goods. That was my answer or to this question. Non-resident taxable person, ITC would be allowed. Now, ITC in case of the special circumstances, there are the 4 transactions are covered. Can you tell me out of the 4 transactions on which transaction I would be allowed to claim the ITC on capital goods? 2 transactions I would be allowed to claim the ITC on the capital goods. There are the total 4 transactions. उनमें से out of which 2 transactions I can claim the ITC of the capital goods also. Tell me in which items I will allow to, in which situations I am allowed to claim the depreciation. I am allowed to claim the ITC on the capital goods. नहीं sir. If exempt supply become taxable supply, 18 subsection 1 clause C and clause D, these are the two transactions. These are the two transactions in which you can claim the ITC on the capital goods also. The first is composition become regular and exempt become taxable. 18 when talking about total 4 transaction, then I am allowed to take the ITC. In that case, invoice should not be older than how many period? I can take the ITC of the invoices which are in stock, but it should not be older than 1 year. 1 year. Correct. Can you tell me the form number in case of the merger, amalgamation, demerger, etc.? ITC 02. Correct. ITC 02. Can ISD issue the debit note to its branches for distribution of credit? The answer is no. Answer is no. It will always be the tax invoice or credit note. It will always be the ISD invoice and credit note. If suppose I'm ISD, I have received the debit note from supplier. Supplier can issue the debit note to me, but when I will transfer the credit to my branches, it will always be ISD invoice. So please note, ISD debit note का कोई concept नहीं है GST में. It can be credit note ISD and ISD invoice. When the ISD credit note will be issued? When the ISD credit note will be issued? When the ISD credit note will be issued? For any mistake, for any reversal of ITC, excess ITC distribution, etc. Banking company is providing an exempt supply, which is interest. Therefore, they need to reverse the common ITC. They have two methods. Can you tell me which method? What are the two methods available to the banking company? Rule 40 to 43 or 50% of ITC. The 50% of the ITC does not include one component. Which one? The 50% reversal will not be applicable on which transaction it is not applicable. Transaction between distinct person on which no reversal is applicable. That remember always, कि अगर मैं कोई बैंकिंग कंपनी हूं, मैंने किसी अपनी कंपनी की किसी और बैंक से सेम पैन another GST number, if there is a transaction, I am not required to reverse the ITC. Buy one get one free. Second item, can I take the ITC? Buy one get one free. You purchase one shirt, I will give you one shirt free. On second shirt, which is given as a free of cost, will I be allowed to take ITC? Yes. Is it always a composite supply or is it always a mixed supply? Is it always a composite supply or is it always a mixed supply? Single price is being charged. Depends. You cannot say that mix, you cannot say composite, depend upon the nature of supply, principal item, ancillary item, etc. Merely because it is a single price mix, because it is not fair. Merely because it is a single price, you cannot say that it is mixed supply. Correct, correct, correct. I am an insurance company and I have given the insurance on car to one of customer. Customer had the matlab ki, repair of that car and taken the bill in its own name. Entire expenditure is being reimbursed by me. Can I take the ITC? Invoice was in the name of the person, and then you take the 100% reimbursement from me. Will I be allowed to take ITC? Invoice should be in the name of insurance company. Then only ITC would be available. The basic requirement of 16 subsection 2, that it should be proper tax invoice hona chahiye. So we have discussed somewhere in the rule 36 that there is a 5 things which has to be mentioned on the tax invoice. Any 2, 3? The 5 things has to be mentioned on the tax invoice. Any 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you can recall. Name, GST number, description, value, tax. Fine, no problem. Very nice, very nice. So we have discussed, that was one circular, I think. In case of the sale, merger, amalgamation, ITC 02 has to be furnished. Is it mandatory to have within the same state or it can be different state to fill the ITC 02? Can I transfer the ITC through ITC 02 to the other state? Correct. Answer is no, not allowed as per that circular. One circular we have discussed, that circular clarified that yes, you are not allowed to transfer the ITC to the another state. To the another state. Correct. Anybody who remember the time limit to issue the self invoice? What is the time limit to issue the self invoice? 30 days from receipt of goods or services. Correct. CSR expenditure ITC allowed or not? CSR expenditure ITC allowed or not? We have discussed one Safari retreat judgment. One judgment we have discussed. What are the main crux of that judgment? Safari retreats. What is the main crux of that judgment? Answer is ITC not allowed for the previous question. That CSR expenditure ITC not allowed. What was the crux of that main judgment? That main judgment of Safari retreat. They have differentiated the word plant machinery. Correct. They have different. Okay. Keith is plant and machinery, plant or machinery. Correct. Then they have made retrospective amendment, and by making that, they have made it like plant and machinery. Now, in the explanation, the definition of the plant and machinery has been given, and there's telecommunication tower. Will it consider as plant and machinery? As per that explanation. Telecommunication tower, plant and machinery? No. Civil structure of the plant, civil structure, will it include? Will plant and machinery include the civil structure? No. It will not include. Pipeline led inside the factory premises, will it be plant and machinery? Yes. Now, rule 42, which talks about you need to reverse the common ITC of, what is the difference between rule 42 and 43? Rule 42 and 43 for input and input service, rule 42 and 43 capitals. In the discussion of the rule 42, I told that this is the total credit T, and out of that I will remove T1, T2, T3 and T4. Can you tell me what was the T1, T2, T3, T4? This is the last question. What about the civil structure? ITC not allowed. Samanathan. If you see the definition of the plant and machinery, it includes the foundation and structural support, but it does not include the civil structure. So ITC not allowed. Oh my God. T1 is non-business. Absolutely correct. T2 is exempted. Absolutely correct. T3 is blocked. Okay. And T4 is taxable. After removing all these four items, will the balance would be zero? After removing all these T1, T2, T3, T4, whether the balance would be zero? No, sir. Common ITC would be left. Common ITC would be left. And to calculate the D1, it is called as C2, common credit. To calculate the D1, what would be the numerator and what would be the denominator? What would be the numerator and what would be the denominator? Exempt divided by टोटल, इसको कहते हैं टोटल सप्लाई और इसको exempt सप्लाई. Then I have to calculate D2. What is the D2? What is the D2? There are something percentage of C2. What is the D2 and what is the percentage? The D2 is the ITC attributable to the non-business purpose, and it will be the 5% only. So from my side, this lecture is completed. We will meet Sunday and we'll start the new topic. So from my side, it's completed. Over to you if you ask any question. If you have any question, please let me know. Otherwise, we can conclude our today discussion. Thank you. Goodbye to all of you. We'll meet on Sunday and we'll have the discussion. Further discussion. Goodbye. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.